We like to start every episode with a disclaimer that we are not professionals. Our conversations are solely based on our personal experiences, thoughts, and opinions. Nothing discussed here is meant to be taken as professional mental health or medical advice. If you have questions or need assistance, please seek the help of a licensed professional.
Discussions in this podcast may sometimes revolve around heavy material such as abuse, grooming, religious trauma, etc. Please listen with caution and prioritize your mental health first.
Welcome to Trauma Bondage, the podcast where we talk about trauma, kinks, and non-traditional lifestyles and relationships from a queer lens. We're your hosts, Brigitte
And Beth.
Hey.
Hey.
Today, we have with us the most beautiful, bold, and boisterous, and booby, Sky. Our lovely Sky right here.
Listen, that's a great intro.
Thanks.
Bold and booby.
Bold and booby.
Can we put that on a
That's
t-shirt?
I'll take it.
Bold
Absolutely.
and booby. Am I still making up merch?
Yeah, no, like every episode we
so.
have a thing where like Bridget says something and I'm like, let's put that on a t-shirt. We
Why
have
haven't you
probably
been doing
20
that?
t-shirts. we
Because
could
one
make at
time
this
she
point.
tried to have us make coochie rags.
It's not a bad idea.
Hold up. Nope. I just need somebody to explain to me what a coochie rag is.
A rag that you use to wash your vagina in the shower.
Because it's the only one you use.
Because a lot of
just for
people don't know that you're supposed to like wipe everything down there with a rag and no soap.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But like not use it to wash the rest of your body.
But like a
so
trauma
it's, like,
bondage
just
merch
for
coochie
your-
rag. Do you think, would you buy it?
I'm sorry. It's just like the word rag just has like such just
Washcloth.
like a
Cloth. Coochie cloth.
Coochie cloth. I like that better actually. but-
Coochie cloth.
All right,
like a merkin.
We'll revisit
We'll
this
circle
in
back.
season
Let's put a
2.
pin in it. Let's put a pin in it.
Anyways.
I'm just like, my head is just kind of, for some reason, it's red and it's just like ragged and it's just like, it's got holes in it.
I was
That's
imagining
cool.
like a velvety pink one.
Do you want to put velvet on your
No,
vulva?
it wasn't like what I wanted. It was more of the intrusive thought about it that
Fantastic.
I had. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do like different types of textiles.
Textiles, yeah.
Yeah, you mean
We'll
like
poll the
silk?
audience.
Burlap. I don't know. Whatever they want.
Sky,
There's-
introduce yourself
Oh, I'm
before we digress.
Hi, I'm Sky.
Put a pin in that one. This is Sky.
Was that not the track that you wanted to go down?
No, I did. We would have gone down it the whole episode.
Okay,
though.
fantastic. Just scrap the whole idea of the
Tell us
episode.
about you though. Who are you?
I'm Sky. I'm an actor. If this is like any connotation, this is just very foreshadowing. It's gonna be a mess. I'm an actress and I'm gay. I'm lesbian.
What are your pronouns?
My pronouns are she, her, hers. And that's it. Sorry, I just...
That's it.
Well, I was just thinking about that like Wendy's employee who very confidently with her whole chest was like, yes, sir. And I was like, and I like pitched my voice higher. And I was like, and fries. And she was just like, is that all, sir? And I was like, so we're really leaning into this sir thing.
We are.
That's fine.
Especially on
That's fine. There's some beautiful men out there. But it's not me.
So you use the label lesbian?
Yes,
Okay,
I do.
got
I
it.
do. I'll say gay or queer just to like, I
Okay.
don't know, people hear lesbian, they're just like, ooh.
Yeah, they sexualize it
They
immediately.
so quickly.
I say
Yeah.
gay a lot, so
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm gay.
because gay is just like happy. They're just like,
Yeah.
oh, you
just have
dance.
fun.
Yeah.
You dance with lights, and I'm just like, sure, okay, whatever.
The reason we wanted Sky on this episode, which
By the way, it's our finale.
oh my God, yes,
This is our final
Woo!
episode
this is
of
the
season
final
1.
episode of season
With a little
1.
bit of inclusivity.
We're
Look
gonna
at that.
we're gonna go out
Look
with
at
a
us.
bang,
Love that.
not literally but figuratively. This guy's like, what are we?
What? Listen, I'm down for anything.
No, but the reason we wanted Sky on, one, this is a dear human to me, and I love her with all my being.
Love you.
But also because this one's for the baby gays.
Yes.
This episode is for the baby gays. Sky is probably like the most like tenured, but like still technically in my mind like baby gay.
Teenager
That
gay.
I like teenager gay simply because you like were living your life as a seemingly straight woman,
Seemingly, yeah.
doing your thing, having a grand old time,
Yeah.
whatever, and then you're like, oh, light bulb, I'm a lesbian.
Yeah.
And then the world shut down.
That's exactly how it happened.
COVID happened.
Yeah, it was COVID.
So that's what what today's episode is about.
Fantastic.
And what we want to talk about a little bit more for the baby gays, because now you've gotten to like dip your toe into the pool now that the world has opened back
And other
up.
things as well.
So
The pussy pool.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Pussy pool.
The pussy pool.
That should go on the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Pussy pool. Sorry, it's just like a pool full of vaginas. And
Do you like it? No? Yes?
Well, I wouldn't know what to do with that many.
Hence the baby gay. So like,
Oh, okay.
there's
It's just baby gay.
Cumbersome.
Teenage gay. We're getting there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I supposed to be like...
we wouldn't expect that. No,
Is
it's
that
okay.
like later on in the lore?
It's later.
Okay,
It's later.
my
later.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Jesus Christ.
They keep
I
coming.
have so much more to learn.
It's glorious. So I guess starting out, how did you figure it out? Sexuality, and when you did come out, like, I feel like you were probably like, okay, ready and raring to go, and then everything shut
It was
down. And
so-
what did that do to you?
It was so anticlimactic. I'm not going to lie to you. It's such a boring story. I didn't really like come out, like I never like sat anybody down and was like, hey, just so you know, like I'm a lesbian. I just want you to know, like this is going to affect your life. Like, what? But, you know, like I came out in my 30s, like, come on. So
late in life, baby gay.
I knew, I mean, seriously, I knew back in like 2019 that I wasn't straight. And I was like, that's comforting. But I didn't like really do anything about it. Cause I actively stopped dating men in 2018 because I actually was like on Tinder and I had like 5 dates set up because she's a hot commodity, to the straights. And I went on one date and I went on one date and after 20 minutes I was like, I gotta go. And he was like, what do you have to do that's not here? And I was like,
anything but
literally.
you.
And I said to him, I said, literally anything else. And so I like, and he was just like, oh, well, I was going to order you another drink. And I was like, my burrito place is around the corner and like it's calling me. And so I just packed my shit up and like
20
left.
minutes.
You
And, like,
literally had a Taco Bell commercial where like you heard the bell and you left.
It wasn't even
Yeah.
Taco Bell. It was my burrito place. I'm
But, burrito place.
Yeah. I'm not going to like,
The burrito
I'm not
bell.
going to plug it because like I'm not getting any money from them. And so fuck them. But I left and like, as I'm in line ordering my burrito, I was canceling all of my dates. And I felt so much better after I canceled all of my dates. I was just like, oh my
Damn.
God, I don't have to like talk to them.
See
And I
men.
was just like, okay, well, like it's just going to be me. And I just went about my life. And then I had my first crush on a girl in 2019. And I was like, huh. But I wasn't like, oh, what should I do? I was talking to my friend. I was like, she's hot, right? My friend
Was she
bi.
queer?
Yeah, she was.
Okay.
Like, well, that was the thing. That's the big thing about it. It was a lesbian, and I had not known that many lesbians, which is crazy. I had not, and it was the first masked lesbian that I had met.
Is that your type?
That's a different conversation.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
But anyway, I had a crush on her, and I was just like, "Well, that's fun." And then just like went on with my life, and then had a crush on another girl, and I was like, "Cool." And so I was like, "Okay, I'm bi-curious." And like I told my mom, I was like, "Hey, I'm bi-curious," and she was like, "What does that mean?" My religious mother. And I was just like, I'm just letting you know that I may bring home a woman. Don't be surprised. And she was like, okay. And so she told my sister, she was like, but she still wants to be with a man. And I was like, I mean,
Parents
fine.
always use that to comfort
Yeah,
themselves.
she's like,
They're
she's
just gonna
still,
marry a
you know,
man.
she may still get
Parents are
dicks
so
down. We don't
interesting.
know.
When you kind of like come out to them, it's like they still have hope that you'll.
Yeah, she was
marry a
like
man.
crossing her, but like I know her prayers were long and fervent that night.
Well, I'm even like I'm talking to like a little baby gay, and like it's very chill and very cool, and they're adorable. And I met them a couple weeks ago, and her thing was like, when she first came out, her mom was like, but you're not going to cut your hair, are you? And it's like, that's your concern.
My mom was like, okay, so now that you're a lesbian, like, are you going to start taking testosterone? And I was like, what is the...
I'm sorry, did she ask that?
She's confusing lesbian with trans.
And then she showed up with like a Harley Davidson like leather vest, and she was like, for you and your kind. And I was like, different kind of different kind of gay, Mom, but I appreciate you trying.
This is the same mother that gave
my
her a
God.
top hat for her Christmas tree.
She
to
did.
gay it up a
Okay.
bit.
She was like,
she's trying.
She walked in with a gigantic ass top hat. She was like, because it's a gay tree, and like worried and putting it on top, like, am I
should be
doing
worried.
okay? And I'm like, you're doing fantastic. Please stop trying. Anyway, so like when I found out, and then like later on in 2020, I started dating this. Well, I had another crush on a girl. Turns out she likes me too. And then we
Also
just started
turns on.
dating. And so I was just telling my friends, I was just like, hey, I'm dating a girl now. And 80% of my friends were like, yeah.
Makes sense.
Was this
Okay.
a like semi-long distant one?
No,
Okay.
this was a situationship. It's a canon event.
That was a pre.
That was pre my
Situationship.
relation. This was, I had my situationship and then I got into a relationship.
Okay.
I hit the ground running. Like I really, really did. Considering it was a pandemic.
Yeah.
and I was still like pulling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Come on.
You did good,
I did
girl.
really
You did
good.
good.
There was a solid text message exchange
When?
between the two of us when you were like, I have a person coming to see me.
When was this?
I need to know where to buy all the sex toys.
Oh!
You remember that?
Lord, oh my God. So my situationship ended because not because of the pandemic. Like it was just a fling anyway, which
Okay.
was like fun and whatever.
Yeah.
But then like
As
I met my ex online somehow, and we were in a long distance relationship, and they were coming to see me, and I was like, I need to talk to a lesbian. Like what?
Phone a lesbian.
What lesbian?
And seriously, I was
Bridget
like,
will know.
I know there's accoutrements and like there's paraphernalia, and I don't think I have it.
Do I need lube?
Yeah, and so I messaged Bridget because I was, I had things for myself.
You had dabbled.
Like I had already
dabbled.
Like I already knew my body, which
Right.
is what I highly encourage every single person to do,
They absolutely
regardless
should.
of your sexuality. Know your body.
This guy said, "Who is the kinkiest lesbian I know?"
I didn't. Well,
Bridget,
kind
help.
of. I did, like, kind of in a panic too. I was like, okay,
I know, I loved
my
it.
partner's gonna be here in like 2
was the
weeks.
best thing.
What do I do? And she's just like, girl,
Here's the site.
here's the site.
Here's what you
they
buy.
have lots of deals, and I,
I love
went
that.
ham. I was like, ooh, yay!
Bridget should have had you put in like a promo code so she could get a discount.
I wish.
Probably.
But
wish.
you really should
I
have.
should make them
I
give me a promo
spent
code.
I spent a pretty penny, and we used everything. So like, good for me.
Good for you.
Yeah. My coming out was like really, really boring with my parents. Like I introduced my dad to the girl that I was seeing, dating, whatever. And I was like, hey, Dad, you know that girl you just met? I'm dating her. And he was like, cool. What kind of guitar was she holding? And I was like,
Oh my fucking God.
yeah, and I was like, all right.
Finally.
And I told my mom, my mom came in after we had a date, and she was just like, you look different. And I was like, oh, I went on a date last night. And she was like, with who? And I was like, it's a woman. And she was like, okay. But that was it. And I was like, why
Damn.
were you guys surprised? And they're like, you're the youngest of 3 girls. Like, you've always been a wild card, which is really nice to hear. They're like, it would be surprising if you did something normal. And I'm like, aw.
You're like, there's zero expectations of me then. To be
Yeah,
normal,
like they
so
do. Like they're just like, we are expecting you to shave your head at some point. I'm like, all right. I mean, if that's the bar, then like I can do whatever I want, and it like won't cause a heart attack or anything like that. So
we love that.
Having conversations with this BabyGay, and then also like having watched your experience and like getting to like relive
you
it.
witnessed quite a bit of my
Well, 'cause y'all were
experience.
friends
I
before you
witnessed-
came out, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
got
We had
it.
known each other, worked together. Yep, Aida.
Oh shit. I repressed that
Worked
memory.
together- me too. Worked
Jesus
together.
Christ.
Yeah, like we had known each other, but like we weren't super close
No.
until a little bit later.
Okay.
Because
And
a
then,
mutual
like,
friend was like always, and she's like, I'm inviting my lesbian friends. And I was just like, okay, they're cool.
Yeah.
And then I came out and I was like, now they're my lesbian.
You are the lesbian
They're my
friend
people.
too.
But yeah, so like I got to like watch your experience, and now it's kind of like been rehashed with this little BabyGay, sweet human I'm talking to, and it's like the things that happen, it's like refinding who you are a little bit, and like reestablishing maybe what your style is, and then trying to figure out what your type is. Do you have a type? What that looks like, and like rainbows
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Everywhere. I have some very, very supportive friends. My best friend was just like, she was like, okay, you're gay. I just bought all of this stuff. And it was just like so many rainbows. I got so many flags for some reason. That was exciting. But
I
yeah, like
remember
the whole like
so cute.
discovering yourself is so accurate. One thing that I read, because when I came out before the pandemic, and so like I couldn't explore, like I couldn't have the fun that I wanted to have. I always said that like coming out right before the pandemic is like being invited to like this huge house party, and you're really, really excited about it, and then as soon as you walk in the front door, the cops shut it down.
Oh shit.
Oh.
That's
So
a
you
great
don't,
analogy.
yeah. So I
That's
didn't get
good.
so I was like, when I figured it out, I was like, oh my God, like I have so many queer friends. And so I was like, I'm going to feel comfortable at gay clubs and, I'm going to go to parties and I'm going to wear all this stuff and, explore stuff in the world. And God was like, no. And so,
Not yet.
and to be fair, I told people, I was like, I think God knew that I was going to be a hoe because he was like, I see what you're doing. Go home and read. And so that's what I did. I read so much, and I read like that the Compet Manifesto. What's it called? The Master Doc or something. The lesbian Master Doc.
Yeah,
I read that
was
whole
great.
thing, and and it did say like even when you come out late in life, it's like you're experiencing teenage years, and so you're just kind of like, ooh, I want to do all of this, and I want to date, and I want to explore, and all that kind of stuff. And yes, trying to figure out what my style was, and what surprised me is so many of my queer friends were like, they'd be like, so you're gay now? And I'd be like, yeah. And they'd be like, well, what do you identify as? Like, what, like, are you like a lesbian? And or what are you, like a stud lesbian? And I was like, oh God. And now I have to find a label.
A label, yeah.
There was so much pressure to find a label. And I did like a lot of people do when they come out. I was like, I'm bi.
I was about to ask you, like, how long did it take you to go from bi to lesbian?
Like a month and a half.
Yeah.
And that,
Because
I was like,
you get a taste of
because
and you're like,
it
oh,
was
this
one of
is
those
heaven.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
Well, it was so interesting because when people were like, well, how did you know? And I'm like, it's weird because when I realized it wasn't like lightning bolts. It wasn't just like, oh my God. Like I felt comfortable.
You just felt safe.
I felt safe and I felt comfortable. And I was like, I didn't know that what I was feeling towards men was not what every single woman was feeling. I was like,
I get that.
And I was telling my friend, because our mutual friend.
Loathing.
Yeah. Because for years, my friend would be like, I don't think you like men. And I'd be like, well, nobody likes men.
We can name this one.
And I was like, we all hate them, right? And we just kind of keep them
friend.
around. She was like, no, honey, we genuinely like them. And I was like, but like for fun, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I don't think you like want to like date one.
God,
and I'm like,
I relate
much
to that
less sleep
so
with
much.
one.
it was just so weird. And so when I dated a woman and like I kissed a woman and I did things with like everything was so natural. When I was with a man, everything was so calculated.
Yes.
He would kiss me and I'd be like, okay, what do I do if he pulls his penis out? And that was always what my brain thought.
Yeah.
And I was like, do I have to immediately put it in my mouth? Like, can I chew gum? Like it was just so many, like, excuse myself to go to the bathroom. There were so many things, but like when
it was forced.
Yeah, everything was forced. But I thought, I didn't know that wasn't normal.
I was the same way.
So
I
when
thought that all women liked women more than they liked men. And then
'cause
we
everybody's
just
like-
all dated men instead.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh yeah, women are beautiful. I'm like, everybody knows that women are beautiful.
Yeah.
And like people were like, oh, and I made out with my best friend in high school and it didn't mean anything. And I was like, everybody makes out with their best friend and it didn't mean anything. And they're so soft and it's wonderful. But like whatever.
Yeah.
It's just lesbianism.
And that's just gay. And I was like, oh, I'm gay. Because when
Shout
I was
out Rebecca for letting
yes, my
this guy
friend
know.
Rebecca she was the one that was like, yeah, you're not. And she was actually the one that was like, no, I think you're a lesbian.
Honey, you.
And I was just like, well, because I came out to my friends as bi, and they were like, oh God, we're doing a slow walk to it. Okay. Okay, yeah, you're bi. You're bi. And then
She
like,
was just like, slam it down on the table.
my friend Rebecca was just like, bitch, why do you think that you're bi? She was like, do you think you're bi because you think it's hard to make that quick switch from absolutely straight to absolutely gay? And I was like, yeah, because, I always claimed that I knew myself very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
And, being in your 30s, I was like, okay, my prefrontal lobe is fully formed and I know myself. And, I'm
We've been talking about
who
this.
I am. Like when I turned 30, I was like, this is who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. So to have that kind of revelation at that late of a stage, I was kind of like, no, I would have known, but I didn't. And it's really okay. And I had to do a lot of soul searching.
Yeah.
To be okay with that.
And you did know yourself. There was just one area in which you didn't.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. And, I experimented, but when I did come out, I did try to express myself in my masculinity because I remember trying to overcompensate with my femininity, especially being I'm tall, I'm very confident, I'm loud, and I'm Black, so I'm already masculinized. Thank you so much.
Yes.
What are words?
Just in general.
Yeah.
And then so, I was constantly wearing flowers in my hair and lots of fucking florals.
You did. You wore a lot of
I
floral.
wore a lot of floral because I was like, I'm feminine. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. Fucking Wendy's person who called me sir. So I you know, I had a lot to prove. And so when I became gay, it was like, I don't have to prove that.
Yeah.
And I don't have to, and also I don't have to have a man to prove my worth as a woman.
Stepping into your sexuality has stepped you into like your freedom.
Oh yeah.
A little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And so it's so funny because like I'll wear not suits because like no. But like I'll wear things that are more masculine and my friends are like, you look confident. You look comfortable. And I'm like,
You look like you.
I am comfortable. And it's just it's wild to give myself the permission to, and that was another thing, like the whole time that I thought that I was straight, I was just like, well, I got to get a man and I got to get married because that's what I'm supposed to do as a woman. And then when I came out, I was like, I don't have to get married. I don't have to have kids.
You don't have to do anything.
I don't have to do any of that stuff.
I don't
have to do any of that stuff. And so it was really wonderful. And then I got my first partner, like, God, 5, 6. Wait, what is math? 6 or 7 months after I
after you came out.
After I came out. After I knew that I was a lesbian.
Yeah.
I got my partner and I was like, oh, this forever. Because
where did you meet them?
Online.
Yeah,
but I wasn't
all online.
No, dating? I wasn't doing online dating. I was actually I was, you know, when it was like the pandemic and we were all like touch starved, and so we're like, okay, we're all gonna meet in a park. We're all gonna hang out
because breathe each other's air.
Pretty much, like
parking lot parties.
Much of my friends, like all of us, like lived on our own, and I was just like, if I don't talk to somebody, if I don't make eye contact with somebody, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Yeah.
And so we, for like the whole summer, we would go to a park and we would sit 6 feet away from each other, and we would just like eat spaghetti, like bring our own food, and like talk to each other. And so it was one of those things, and I was drunk as shit because, you know, it's a pandemic and that's what everybody was doing. Yeah. And my friend was showing me something on her phone, and she was just like, "Oh yeah, this is like a person that we're doing this cool theater thing online, and there's this person, and I saw them, and I was like, who dat?
I need that.
I was like, I want that, and I, like drunkenly, I was like, I want that. Can you? I was like, tell.
So you were online shopping for women?
Not even. I just saw like a picture of them.
Beth just had like, that's a business idea.
Yeah, I actually did.
Listen, there's a lot of money in that. There's a lot of money in that.
Yeah. I mean, they have it available for men, so
why not?
Why not lesbians?
Why not? My God, you're right. Like online, like buy a wife.
Yeah.
Look, where is the line between buying a wife and like human trafficking?
There isn't.
There isn't.
That's
why this business idea is not going to come to fruition.
Let's not lean too hard into
because
that.
women are too good for that.
We are. We're precious angels.
Anyways.
But yeah, so I looked at and I was like, I want that. And so I messaged our mutual friend, Rebecca, and I was just like, hey, tell me as much as you can about this person. Like, you know, where do they live? You know, what's their sexuality? Because I didn't know. I mean, they looked very queer. But, and so maybe like 5 minutes later, I get a text message, and our friend Rebecca was like, Sky, meet this person. This person meets Sky. And I was like, what? And they're like, hi. Intro. And I was like, oh.
Did she, wait, I'm sorry. Did she group text
the both of us?
You?
Yes. So, because I asked her.
That's so business professional.
I know. I was like, hey, just tell me about this person. Because, you know, I didn't know them from, you know, anyone. And so then our friend Rebecca was like, I'm not doing your dirty work for you. You talk to them. And so I was like, okay.
I fucking love that.
Yeah. And I did. And it was so quick. It was such a
Did you U-Haul a little bit?
No, I think we would have. But it was long distance.
Okay.
And our lives were very different. And I was so new. And I was very, very aware. And I was honestly still in my like exploratory phase. I had I hate that phrase, but I still had like oats to sow.
Yeah.
But I like couldn't pass up on like this amazing person. So we did date, and they came and visited me a bunch, and it was fantastic, but it didn't.
Yeah. Didn't pan out.
Long distance is hard.
It's really, really hard. And but I'll tell you one thing, like long distance
sexting?
Sexting and like sex.
Yeah. It's the best.
I'd be like, all right, I'm shutting off my phone. Like, nobody call me.
It's the buildup, man.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's the
Yeah.
pining, the yearning, like exactly what we were talking about on one of our last episodes. We love to
Pining.
want things that we can't have.
Oh, but I had
It's
it.
a turn on. You had it, but like you
But,
had periods of
like,
time where you
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not just like the emotional part. It's like the physical.
The physical.
Part.
Oh,
Like, you
for
can't
sure.
Just like
denial,
anytime you want.
which is very kinky. It's a very kinky.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Deprivation.
I learned a lot about like my own libido and that whole process. I was like,
Did you feel like your libido turned on when you came out? Because I feel like I didn't have one towards men at all. But then the second I started dating
absolutely.
women,
absolutely.
I was like, oh, I have an insane sex drive.
It's I'm insatiable.
Yes, same.
It was wild.
Yeah.
And I had comments on it. They'd be like, women would be like, you just keep going, dude. And I'm like, listen, I have a lot to catch up on. So if you
It
need
really
to tap out,
is.
like, it's
It's
totally
like-
fine. I keep snacks in my nightstand. And what I do, I keep snacks and I keep electrolytes because, like, it's a fucking marathon.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not a
Lesbian
challenge
sex.
or anything like that, but if you can handle it.
if you have, that's the thing, is that like the right experiences, especially coming out, especially I think when you get to do it a little bit like older, not when you're a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
you're with people who like have already been established,
Their experience.
their experience, but like that first date where you actually are sleeping with someone,
Yeah.
hours long, at
Oh,
least,
all night.
at least.
I didn't know.
All night.
I had no idea because, you know, you look at the clock and you're like, okay, you know, it's 11.
Oh yeah, and then you lose all sense of time and,
And when
reality
we're-
and space.
And she was like, can I sleep over? And I was like, I mean, sure, let's totally
You're like,
fine.
bitch, it's 6 a.m.
And it was 5 a.m. I said, sleep over. Let's go get breakfast. Like, what the fuck? I was so shocked. And I was like, what were we doing for 5.5 hours?
You black out
You
and you go
really
to heaven
do.
and then you come back down to earth and you're like, I don't want to be here. I want to be there.
I want to be where the
So let's have
people are.
snacks, but then let's go back.
And that's the thing. The right part of your world. Like it's such a crazy. But yeah, I never thought about that with men. I was always just kind of like, okay,
Yes.
and then he's gonna pull it out. And I was always like, okay, he's gonna pull it out, and then it's gonna hurt. Spoiler alert: I never had sex with a man.
oh yeah,
I didn't either.
Yeah, I was like, okay, he's gonna pull it out, and then like somehow it's gonna be inside me, either my mouth or in there, and then I just have to like lay there and like make sure that like I know I'm not gonna feel good the first time because like all those horror stories,
Yeah.
people are like, it's gonna hurt, and I'm like, do I just have to?
I'm having PTSD over here.
Oh
Y'all are
no.
just in your little gold star.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
universe.
No.
But yeah, like the
We
first
avoided.
No, because I think when I was dating this girl, like we went on a couple of dates before we actually did anything. And I was like, I don't know if I know what to do. Like,
But you did, I'm sure.
I didn't watch lesbian porn. Like I hadn't read, like I had done my research with men because I was like, I need to be prepared.
Right.
I had not done any research with women and I didn't need to.
No.
I was, listen,
It's natural.
not a second thought went through my head.
I want to make this a point because I have so many baby gays that like come to me and they're like asking
Terrified.
for sex advice. They're
Yes.
so scared. Can we just like put that to bed and say, if you are a woman fucking women, you're gonna be fine.
Naturally,
You're gonna be
you
fine.
already know what to do because
know what to do.
already are utilizing
Yep.
the same anatomy.
And as long as there's like strong chemistry and attraction there, like you're gonna be having a good time. They're
Yeah.
gonna be having a good time. Communicate.
Also, like, don't worry about your fucking body.
No.
Here's the thing.
Women,
Not
all types of
Not a
bodies.
single person, at least women especially that I've been with, have ever been mad at having a naked person in front of them.
Never.
Or
No.
near them.
Never.
Not
You won't catch me.
once.
No.
It doesn't fucking matter what jiggles or what doesn't. We want it all.
No, you
Yeah.
knew that I was fat before I got naked. Let's do this.
If you've got somebody who ever makes a comment about how, oh, this could be, throw them in the garbage.
Yeah, they suck.
I
Throw them in the
realized when I like came out that men are the ones that care about body size more than anybody else.
Yeah.
And they projected that onto women in
And we
society.
took it. We took
and
it
we took
on.
it. And we took it.
Like,
We've
this
been
is ours
conditioned.
now.
We've been conditioned
then
to
when you
believe
start-
that we have to worry about how we look for the other person.
Yep.
And that's, I think that was a big thing for me where I was just like,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I just like me.
No.
If you don't like to grab onto it, that's your problem. You can get out and whatever.
Why wouldn't
Like,
you?
like-
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think the great thing about women is also that we communicate. I know there's like that whole like stereotype, like, oh my God, it's two women. So there's lots of talking. But I'm like, I think that communicating during sex
Hot.
can
So
be
hot.
very, very hot.
So hot. Yeah.
Even if it's just like encouragement. Like, I think some people think that's dirty talk, but you're like, I like when you do this.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I'm like, tell me what I'm doing that's turning you on. It doesn't even matter if you're saying
it also ties into the consent thing. If you're
Yeah.
not having the conversations during it, then maybe you're doing something wrong.
You know, slip something into something that doesn't belong in that something. I'm not saying that I learned that from experience, but I mean, we've all had.
I learned that from experience, not doing, but receiving.
Butthole girl.
But receiving.
Oh, I remember that story.
Yeah. That was unfortunately recent. I'm like, I've been gay way too long to be experiencing this.
I've had a touch of the butthole. That's a weird sentence. I just realized.
No, we like it. I touched the butthole. Have you been touched by the butthole?
I have, probably because like there's a lot of stuff happening back there, and then it's just like you're like, ooh, I didn't know that was like. Sometimes she doesn't know that she's going towards your butthole, and you don't stop her.
You don't, and then you decide if you like it, and
if not, you go, oh no, thank you.
Please remove.
All right, move up north.
My favorite is using 2 fingers to just pull it out, like very
the butthole.
slowly. Yeah, not the butthole
out.
like the finger out of the butthole.
Send help.
The visual that I can imagine you just got.
We were both. I think we were both over here like stricken. We were just like,
It's like, what kind of malleable asshole are you working with? Just like place it to the side. Excuse me, I'm just gonna part your butthole. Put a little clip into it so it doesn't get in your way again. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
You have to like pull the finger out. You don't just say, no thanks.
No, I mean, there was one time where I just had to be like, you know, but I like to do it gently with 2 fingers.
Because that's ladylike. That's dainty.
It's dainty,
Because
and
if
then
you
I
like
laugh.
smack
It's
them,
like funny.
then it ruins the moment.
Exactly.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
I
it's
gotcha.
polite.
It's the 2-finger courtesy pull.
I'm fucking Southern. What can I say? I'm nice.
Southern hospitality, right?
That's what that is.
Like,
My mother taught me.
if they go into your ass without consent, pull it out
2
nicely.
fingers.
And say, no,
Pull
thank
it
you.
out. Tap.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you for trying. I appreciate that.
I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on. I've had a touch of the butthole.
Just,
Oh my God.
Just leave it to us to get onto ass play.
Always.
I think
never
it's
ends.
important. Ass
It
play
is.
is very, very important.
So, okay, so you're rewind. You're dating this person. It's long distance. It doesn't work out.
Mhm.
Pandemic hits mid this relationship.
No, the pandemic hit. And then 8 months later, I got into this relationship.
Got it.
I managed to find a relationship during the pandemic. Yeah.
But it was long distance, so like
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So then through the rest of the pandemic, you didn't date.
I did.
Okay.
So
Tell us about
that's
that.
what's interesting.
So how did you find these people?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
also
I mean,
this
dating
is
apps.
the era of like TikTok and like
Yes.
TikTok lesbians and access to more people.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, everybody's like, I don't want to come over. I had so many gay friends that were like, I can't get anybody to come over to just like have a date because they're afraid that they're gonna get the vid. You didn't have that problem.
No. Well, yeah.
No.
I mean, we were cautious, but it was one of those things like I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So I was like,
So if I get the vid and die, it's fine.
yeah, I mean,
Unless
like
I go out.
But that was, I think another reason why I was able to do it was because I had like lost a job when I started talking to them. And so I was like, I have so much free time, so I can get sick, I guess.
So you had lost a job. COVID was happening,
Mhm.
and you had just come out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there was a lot of stuff.
So much time on your
I
hands.
went to a very dark place at the beginning of COVID because when I came out and I was so excited about experiencing it, and then like the world shut down, so I couldn't like I couldn't I felt like I couldn't express myself.
Yes, I get that.
And I didn't have like close lesbian friends yet.
Yes.
So I didn't have anybody that I could talk to about it. And so I was like, I have to deal with this and I have to go through this all by myself. And you would think because I was in my 30s that I was like, no, you can handle it because you know who you, but it was still incredibly lonely. And that's why I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna read. And that's not very comforting. but
Alone
like
with
a
my
book
books.
doesn't keep you warm at night.
Unless you're Bridget.
But I was
I was
so
about to be like, wait, what?
like, is that not
What do you
normal?
mean it doesn't keep you warm at night? It makes my heart very happy.
Aww.
It warms the cockles of this.
Not the
little-
cockles.
The cockles of this little gay
the
heart.
cockles.
Take it back.
Say psych right now.
Psych!
So yeah, it was just.
I like being told what to do.
Yeah. So getting.
Sorry.
You sure do.
I do.
You sure do.
Oh boy.
She's gonna gay panic. Watch out.
Wolf's about to do a spit take on the laptop.
That's a kink.
Sorry.
But yeah, I was in an open relationship because, I had talked to my partner about it. I was like, realistically, I'm still learning about myself. I still want to date. I'm still, and this whole long distance thing with my libido.
Girl.
Fuck no.
Baby.
Absolutely not.
No, thank you. So they were very, very cool about it. And I believe they wanted to be poly at some point anyway. And so we had the long conversation. I was like, okay, we're poly. And so I tried that. And when that relationship ended, I was very quickly like, oh, I'm not poly.
You're monogamous.
I am.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very much so. But I'm still very thankful for that opportunity to be able to try it.
Yeah. To learn a little bit more about
Because
yourself. Like, what you
absolutely.
want, what you don't want. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do because I was just like, I got the time. I got the, I've got the money. So let's just try some stuff.
Yeah.
I'm smart and, I'm safe and I know not to like be an idiot about these things. So let's just say yes to a bunch of stuff that feels good.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I just kept saying yes.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's the only way to like do this shit. I feel like is to just be open to the experience. And then if things are not for you, then you can at least say, I tried it.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
You're not holding yourself back with fear.
I was so open to learning lessons because I was like, if I didn't know that I was gay all this time, what else do I not know about myself?
Mm-hmm.
So I was just taking things in and be like, and if it's a no, it's a no. And you know.
Okay.
I mean, I tried men for like 15 years and that was a no. And I was
That
like,
was a hard pass.
maybe a different one.
Maybe different. That's what I did. I just kept sleeping with them. That was the problem.
Oh, honey, I could never.
Nothing was working.
No, I'd rather die. Just the idea of it. Like, well, I mean, I think my thing was like, I could see an attractive man and be like, he's attractive. But like the idea of him like in my bed.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful
I get
men,
it.
waist up.
Yeah. I was like,
I
gorgeous.
literally, here to here. That's all I want ever to even see.
I can appreciate a
Just
really
torso.
good face. Like I'm a sucker for a smile and a good pair of eyes. A good pair of eyes.
Good pair of eyes.
Good pair of eyes.
Set of
Not
tits,
just
good
one,
pair
but
of
a
eyes.
good
We
pair
can
of
objectify them. They objectify us all
and
the time.
I could objectify a man all day long. And
Personally,
I think that's why, 20% of my friends were like, really? You're gay? You talk about men, so
That's
know.
how
You can
I know
appreciate
I'm
the
gay.
beauty.
I love being objectified by women, but if men fucking catcall me, they can
Oh,
go
no,
die
it's the
in
worst.
hell.
No.
Like I've been called like woo, like by men in cars passing as I'm walking my dog down the street in my fucking pajamas multiple times in recent weeks, and I was like, if any of these were women, like women at all,
Yeah.
I'd be
you would
like,
here are my
Come here,
underwear.
pick me up.
come here. No, I'd be like, stop your car, come here.
We're doing this
Talk.
now.
Let's talk.
Especially if it's a truck, you would absolutely
Oh
be like,
God!
Stop.
I love country women. It's a
Oh, my God.
problem.
Wait, hold on. Can we talk about your type now that we're on
Oh,
the type
Types.
conversation? I really want to
Types.
talk about this.
Yes. So this is
How
what's
did you
funny,
discover?
right? Like,
Well, because the first woman that I had a crush on was a masked lesbian. And so and then the second woman I had a crush on was a masked lesbian. So I was like, okay, masked
We love
lesbian.
Right.
lesbians.
And then my ex was non-binary and could, explore femininity and masculinity. And I was
Sounds
just
so
like,
familiar.
I don't know if I have a type. I know what I like and I know what's attractive to me. Confidence is very attractive to me. So that I would never say that I have never dated a femme, but I wouldn't say that femmes are not my
I would say
type.
you would never.
No, I
It's
would
just
say
the right one has to come along.
yeah, like I'm not
But-
I wouldn't never say that I'm not into femmes, but I have never dated or met a femme that I was into.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Right.
On that level that I
Yep.
would be like, ooh, let's,
Yeah.
Does that go with like your, I'm going to say like bed type? Like Do you consider yourself a bottom, a switch, a top? You give very like dominant energy to me.
You give dom femme to me.
Yeah.
I am hella switch. From both sides of the spectrum, I can be very much dom femme, and then I can be like such a little sub.
We're the same person.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm great at both. I like some variety. But yeah, and I learned that the first time.
Really?
I learned that the first time that I had sex.
You got to switch with this person?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
Oh,
Yeah, and then our mutual friend got a text message the next morning about how I was, and there were
A+?
There were some fire emojis,
Oh, shit.
and I was like,
Not
"Look at
surprised.
me go!"
Not surprised.
Because like,
Yeah.
there's no map. Like, no one's just like, okay, and then you move down to,
Right.
And there was none of that. I just went with what felt
What,
comfortable.
you didn't watch like the Friends episode where it was like a little 3-5, a little 3-5.
Okay, so I remember
little
that,
3,
but I
5,
was like,
7.
it was 7 erogenous zones, and I was like, 1, 2, and like I've counted them so many times just in my adult age, and I'm like, I think I'm off one. I can't name all of them because also everybody is different.
I was gonna say it's a little like broad to say that would be the case for everybody.
Yeah.
Because I know people who are like, don't touch my nipples, and I'm like,
are you stuck at 6?
Wait, hold on. I have a
because
question.
we know what the 7th is.
Behind your knees.
Yeah.
Behind your knees. Have you ever heard this?
like, what do you do with it?
Have you ever licked behind someone's knee or had them lick behind yours?
Lick.
Immediately wet. Like,
Probably.
I promise you. Do it intentionally whenever like active sex is not happening to somebody. Obviously get consent, but
Right.
just see what their reaction is.
I mean, I'll put just about anything in my mouth. Don't quote me on that.
It's like what I
So will
fucking
Bridget. So will Bridget.
Okay. No, it's like when I fucking told the guy at the cabaret that I was all like, oh yeah, I just like to open my mouth and do things
Put
with
things in it.
Like,
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Like, I love it because it's like the one place that I'm not in my head. I'm very much a like overanalyzer, overthinker.
Overthinker.
But when I'm with a woman, I don't think at all.
You just do.
I
You
just
be.
do. And
Literally.
they'll be like, do you remember what you did to me last night? I'm like, no, what? Did you like it? I'm sorry.
Not particularly, but yeah.
So I probably licked the back of someone's. Like,
Yeah.
I'll try it. I'll put it in my repertoire.
I was gonna say put it on your resume or maybe just poll the audience,
Okay.
and
I like
ask.
that you get so feral that you black out and you can't remember what
That
happened.
fucking happens to me too.
I know. Like that's
I'm like, I wake up the next morning and
I
I see the aftermath of the
I know.
fucking
Oh
all
my
around my
God.
apartment, and
The
I'm like,
aftermath. Jesus Christ.
it's literally so bad. Like you don't have time or energy to clean it up by the time you're done because it's like 6 a.m. So then you go to bed, get your 3 hours of sleep, wake up, and you're like, fuck, I need my coffee so I can like
Who
undo the damage.
broke the stove?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
that me?
Have you taken the BDSM test?
Of course I have.
someone cooked here.
So many times. I've taken the BDSM
What?
test.
We did
so
it.
many-
We did it together.
We did do it together.
What are your
Oh my God, I
kinks?
don't even remember.
Do you remember her kinks?
Oh my God.
Because the whole conversation was,
Oh, because-
I can't stand brats as I'm handing
Oh,
her
yeah.
my
That was me.
results. Number 1 is brat.
Yeah, and maybe I think it's the autism because I'm
Tism, Brit.
it's the tism because like I'm such a straightforward person. So if I think at any point that you're not enjoying it, I want to stop immediately. So if
You
you're
take the bratting seriously.
Yeah, I take the bratting very, very seriously.
Okay.
And I've been with people who have bratted with me, and I will stop, and they're like, "No, what are you
No.
doing?" And I'm just like,
Like,
I asked if you liked it,
Make
and
it
you
worse.
said, I asked if you liked it, and you said, I don't know.
because we want you to try harder.
Well, then let
Work
me
for
just
it.
close up shop and order some Taco Bell, because what the fuck am I doing here?
Work for it.
And that's the thing. And they're like, no, I want you to work harder. And I'm just like, that's not the way to get me to work harder. Positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement.
You like
It does work for the right ones.
I was gonna say you need a very specific type of like communication.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's
from
how
a sub,
I
yeah.
am very, I will tell you.
I remember you had dominant and submissive up towards
Oh,
the top.
yeah.
Like switch was a very big one. And
Yeah.
then I think, what was it, rope bunny? Or were you the rigger?
I was a rigger.
Rigger.
Rigger was really, really
Rigger
high
was
up
really
there.
high up
And then
there.
like exhibitionist and voyeur
Yeah.
was high up there too.
Okay, so that's similar to
Yes.
Us. Yeah.
Yes.
Twins.
Yeah. we find our people.
That.
We're like, you're a dom femme
Yeah.
who's a switch
You're a
too,
kinky
and like
bitch, come
Shakira.
here.
Do I give off dom femme because I was
Yes.
spanking everybody at that party?
Just your
Oh.
energy in
Oh my
general.
God. Well,
Okay.
yes,
You're
that was
very
also great.
like so a dom femme to me can be very submissive in the bedroom, but
Mhm.
like the way that I see like the label dom femme is like it's a woman who has their shit together. They
Vibe.
command a room, they command attention, they're very confident. Their femininity is like oozing out of them. And
Without
like
being physically
it's not
feminine.
forced.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not forced. And like sometimes yes, that translates into be dominant in the bedroom and sometimes no. That's how I see it.
I mean, I can dig that. I love that.
It's like it's another thing that I feel like it's another reason we wanted to do the podcast because like I don't think people get that.
Mm-mm.
They're like you're feminine and soft or you're masculine and like you're a bush lesbian.
Yeah, there's no in between. Oh
Yeah.
my God, there's so many variations, and
So
that's
many.
what's magical about it.
Yeah.
I have never fucked with a mask that is not a huge fucking sub in the bedroom.
Oh my
And
God.
maybe that's
Yeah.
my
That's
energy.
the dom femme
Dom
attracting.
femme
Okay.
turns that into subs.
Yeah.
Oh
Only
no,
a
just
dom
not
femme
really-
can do that.
Yes.
And they're like, I usually don't do this with other people.
You
And I was like,
clock
well, you're gonna
them
do it.
every
Oh
And they
no.
flock to you.
My
And it
current
just
my current
happens.
partner is usually like a touch me not. And like
Oh, we're not doing that.
first night they were like, you can go down on me. And they were like, I usually don't do this. I don't know what's happening. I'm like, this is what happens.
There's
Okay.
something about dom femininity that brings out the soft femininity,
Femininity.
in masculine
Yes,
women
yes.
because a lot of masculine women feel like they have to pull that out and be the strong one and stuff like that. So when you already have that quality just like naturally within you,
Yeah.
they absolutely lose their
They feel
minds
so
over
safe with me.
It makes them
That-
feel comfortable in their
Yeah.
feminine.
Yeah.
It's a
When they
safety
feel
thing.
like
Yeah.
with very like feminine, soft women, they need to be masculine. And with men, they need to be even more masculine to protect themselves. But dominant femininity, like it really fucking does something to them.
That's fantastic.
This is the
It's like a
thing.
Yeah.
superpower.
It is.
I
It
just
is.
thought that was just I was like, oh, they're all subs. Like they're all
No, it's
No.
you,
Like,
baby.
like they're all petty in,
It's
in
not
my
all
head.
of them. Believe me, it's not all of them.
Okay, well
It's
that's fantastic.
You've learned another superpower that
Look
you
at
have.
that.
Yay.
We're discovering things today, and it feels
Unpacking
good.
things. It's good. Okay, so like you went through the whole pandemic and then things lifted.
Mhm.
How did that change? Or did it change?
No, it didn't change.
You just kept pulling.
You know
love
what? I think I pulled I pulled for like the first 2 years. I've slowed down a lot. Probably because I did so much inner work at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if the pandemic didn't happen, I'd be a whole slut bag. And I kind of it's a little
Slut bag.
disappointing because I'm just like, man, I really wanted to hoe about. Like I really wanted to do that. But I did a lot of like inner work, like what is it that you actually want? That bullshit, right? And so I didn't strive for that. Now I still can pull and still have pulled, but I'm a little bit more discerning about
You're
it.
selective
you
in your
can pull.
pulling.
Yeah, I'm. Is it the earrings?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
The titty earring.
it's the titty earrings. Yeah. It's not as crazy as it was when I first started. Things have definitely slowed down a bit, but it's because I'm not as proactive about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me? Yeah. I've calmed down.
Combination of being proactive and like being a baby gay in the midst of everyone being touch deprived.
Yeah, I think that helped a lot. That actually worked in my favor.
Oh,
They're
it
like,
sure did.
they're like, I'll do it. You can punch me in the face. Just touch me. And I'm just like, okay.
I'm like, I prefer if you punch me in the face. Please.
I learned some stuff. I learned a lot of people. Listen, lesbians, they get real
Lesbians are-
comfortable
they-
with you
yeah.
and they ask you to do some things. And I'm just like, is this because of the pandemic? Or is this because you need to have a conversation with your father? Like, I don't know if this is daddy issues.
Oh,
Like, what is
It's
the bottom of
always
this?
daddy issues.
It
we
is.
Can, we
It
can
is.
be sure of that.
I've been asked to do some things and I'm just like, is this normal? Just like on the first
Yeah, on the first
exploration,
date. Yeah.
they'd be like, you can do this. And I'm like, huh?
When you have a nice combination of mommy and daddy issues. Mom and dad.
Dom.
Oh,
Dad and mom.
Oh.
look at that.
Yeah, it is. So, okay, one question for you, kind of backtracking. looking back at like your childhood, teenage years, and 20s.
Fuck, Bethany's
Hold on,
going
we're not
there.
gonna go back too far.
Fuck.
But
Jesus, okay. Inner child
do you
working.
see like signs of how gay you were?
Oh yeah, like hindsight's 2020.
Yeah,
oh my
like
God.
things that you did that you're like, oh my
Homosexual.
God.
Well, I explained some things to people when I was little that I experienced when it came to women, and people are like, "That's not everyone."
normal.
And I'm like,
Shielding your eyes in the locker
so
room.
this is a big one. When I was in high school, I was in drill team, so it's like 40 girls, and after practice, they all like get naked and change, and they're all like talking and like getting in showers and stuff like that. I remember having to avert my eyes.
I just said this.
I would go
Shielding your
change in
eyes
the
locker
bathroom.
room.
I would go change in the bathroom, or if because they'd just be talking to me and just
Yeah.
be like, yeah, da, 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 and I'd see titties, and they'd be like, well, I can't
I can't.
look at the titties because she's going to
Yeah.
think that
Yep.
I'm into her. And I told, was I talking to you about this?
Probably.
And I was talking to people, they're like, no.
Yes, it was me. It was at a parking lot party, and I was like, "That's not normal."
No, like no one thinks
It's gay.
Or like I would have like friends in like middle school or whatever, and you know, like girls are like always like touchy and like we'll sit on each other's laps and stuff like that. One time a girl sat on my lap for the first, and I made sure that I did not like touch her, and I was just kind of.
And I was on the other end where I was in like volleyball, and like you got like really short spandex shorts, and we would all like slap each other's asses, like as we like,
Yeah, I would
got
make that.
stuff,
We
and
did
I
that
was
in drill
like,
team too.
I really
can't do
wanted
it.
to grab
To
a
grab the
fistful,
ass.
but
I didn't slap anybody's ass. I didn't remark on because they would be like, "Your tits look good today," and I'd be like, "I'm not going to say anything about the tits because she's going to think that I want her."
Because you did.
Okay, with that pop culture, like what were the things you were obsessed with?
Nothing gay because I was also raised very, very religiously. So I, there was a lot of secular things that I wasn't allowed to look at. But there were things that like I would like when music videos came, like when MTV music videos were coming around, there were like certain videos with certain pop stars that I would watch over and when we got the internet and we got like YouTube, and I would just be like, okay, well, just this one video of Pink. Over and over and over and
Okay,
over.
if you're obsessed with
again.
Pink, you're fucking gay. I don't care who you are.
That's my celebrity crush, by the way, and it has not changed. When she first came out, I was like, but I just think she's cool. I just like her style. That's the only reason. No,
you wanted to fuck her.
No.
Masculine women.
Yeah. Powerful.
She's very powerful.
Yeah,
I love
it
her
was
vibe.
like even the things that like you wouldn't really consider gay. It was like Sporty Spice, but gay.
I couldn't be Sporty Spice because I always had to be the black one. So when everybody was picking Spice Girls, and they were like, "And you're scary," and I was like,
God damn it. You can be Sporty Spice if you want to be,
I
Sky.
don't want to be Sporty
You can
Spice. I
be
mean, I'm not.
anything
I'm
you want.
athletically challenged, so I definitely couldn't be sporty.
Well, I couldn't I was like, do I want to beat her? Do I want to fuck her?
Oh yeah, no. Sporty Spice was
Sometimes it's
definitely the
both.
most
I would watch
attractive.
soccer and like Mia Hamm would like score a goal and
Mia
run and like
Hamm.
rip her fucking shirt off.
Oh
and I
my
was always
God.
like, ooh, man, I love this. But I was like, it's because I like soccer.
Masculine women in movies, like if they had like a more masculine built body, I remember just like fucking drooling.
Ben, did
And
you ever
I
watch
should've
Bend It
known.
Like Beckham?
No,
No.
Not you. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm upset because there's this moment where the mom's like freaking out because Keira Knightley and the other girl, who's this really beautiful femme, like Indian woman, they're like hanging out at a bus stop. But Keira Knightley has like short hair and kind of like is dressed like a dude because she's a little more masked, and they're both like straight as can be, and the mom freaks out and goes to the Indian girl's sister's wedding and is all like, they're lesbians together and freaking out, and they're like, no, she's not Lebanese. And it's a whole like queer moment in this very straight movie.
I love that.
We need to watch it.
I love that. We'll
I
watch
really
it.
like the movie. Was it called Stick It?
Oh
my God, the bathtub
Missy
scene.
Peregrine in the ice bath, dead. I'm dead now. Goodbye.
So you've seen the movie. That part
No, I
watched.
haven't seen the movie. I've watched that scene on
What?
YouTube. I've watched that scene on YouTube like 10 times. Like 10 times.
I rewound that part so many times, and I was just like, it must be cold. Like I just couldn't because you don't know why you're watching it. I was like, it's really just like gymnastics and ice, I guess. Like what the fuck?
Bethany, I'm locking you in a room.
There's
I
so
love
many
that.
movies that she's
For
gonna
like
make you
several
watch.
days. We're gonna do a girls' weekend.
Movie-thon.
Both of you, because apparently you both
Why
need
am
to
I in
watch
this
some
now?
movies.
I've
You
watched a lot of
watch
movies.
movies. You don't want to come to the girls' weekend where we drink wine and watch lots of like.
Oh well, you didn't
queer
say that there was
icon
gonna be wine. I'm
movies
definitely
and
We're
shit.
there.
bringing wine. I'm going to need it.
I'll show up.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. But yes, no, I've seen scenes of it, but I've specifically watched the scenes that are the gay scenes. I'm like, why suffer through the whole movie when you can just
Like
watch
her
the gay
ripping
part?
off the sweatshirt, she runs down the street with like her little like. Oh God.
I can't even think about it right now.
Missy
I'm gonna gay
Peregrine.
panic.
In case you're listening to this, just call us.
Call all of us.
I don't know who you are, but they're into you. So I guess.
She's the Stick It girl.
Is that her name?
Yes.
Wow.
Call all
Do
of
you
us.
just want her to call us?
I mean, I just objectified her. I mean, like, I know what I liked, but I didn't know what her name was.
Yeah, I don't know her name either.
Oops.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
You can be on the podcast, but you'll just have to sit on the couch and let us stare at you.
Or
the
sit on
whole
my face.
hour.
Either way.
Sit on her face on the couch.
On the couch.
That's what it's for.
That's it. I'm a simple gal.
Okay, do we have any other questions before we move to spicy trauma?
Yes, I have one last.
Okay.
I have one last question. Since we've established that you're a more tenured like teenage gay, what would your like advice be
Oh
to
my.
the baby gays who are starting to come out and understanding like themselves and kind of putting themselves out there? Because some people like you are naturally a confident person in my book and have been for a long time. Not everybody has that. So like, what would you tell the new generation of baby gays?
That's a really good question. Because, not everybody can do it like I did, but it's true. I've always been very unapologetic about my presence and everything about me. So my advice would be to take your time. Whatever that means. Take your time. You don't have to immediately label yourself. You don't have to get a girlfriend. If you do get a girlfriend and it doesn't work out, or if you date a different woman and you don't like what she does, like you are valid in who you are. Whatever it is that you decide that you are, whatever it is that you like, that's right. And I think there was a lot of pressure on me to be like, oh, okay, well, like, how many pussies have you eaten? And I was like, well, why is this? We're at brunch. Why are we asking these questions? But people, and it was a lot from queer people. A lot of queer people wanted proof to validate my
Your
sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
And I know so many baby gays who are like, I know that I'm a lesbian, but I've never been with a woman.
Yep.
You're still a lesbian.
Absolutely.
It's like bi erasure, right? All the women that are married to men that like are attracted to women but have never slept with a woman, you're still fucking bisexual.
Yes.
You are.
Like your sexuality is your sexuality, no matter how many times you put it in or not.
Right.
Well, I mean, just think about there are people that have lived and died and never had sex. That doesn't mean they didn't have a sexual orientation.
Oh, for
Yes.
sure. For sure.
That's
They're like, oh, they were
I'm sorry,
asexual.
what do
No,
you
they
think
weren't.
nuns are? Do you think
Sad.
all nuns are
They're
asexual?
all sad.
No, they're all sad, but they're all fucking each other.
Oh, I hope so too.
Fuck yeah.
Fantastic.
I like to think about it that
Like
way.
if I
I-
ever got forced into a convent, I
How
don't
would you
think
get
I'd be
forced
mad.
into it? What is this, 1789?
It could be.
Could be.
Let's hope not. My people were not treated well. I don't know if you have read a history book recently. Does not end up nicely for us. Stay in this century, please.
For those of you, oh, you already said this. Never mind.
Oh, I'm black. Is that? Is that? I forgot this is a podcast and like.
People not watching this Sky is a beautiful black woman, but like you did already say you were black earlier, and I forgot about
They're
it.
like, wow, she's. Should we say that at the beginning? Should we record the intro? We're here with Sky Black. And
Parentheses.
just put it in there. We'll put it in the edit. We'll add that too.
Black.
I'm literally crying.
My bad. Well, they're going to have to watch it because, you miss a lot when you just hear voices.
You really do. You miss a lot. Watch this fucking episode, please. It's our finale. It's worth it.
Oh, God. Okay.
What was
You're
the
having
question
a really wonderful moment where you were telling people to take their time.
Take your time.
And you were valid.
Yeah, take your time. And if you want to hoe, go hoe. And if you don't want a label, don't have a label. And you don't have to have a type. You don't have to. Okay, this is kind of controversial, what I'm about to say.
This whole podcast is controversial.
But I think you two may not agree with me. If you don't like going down on a woman, but you still like having sex and doing all that other stuff, you're still gay.
Yeah.
You're still a lesbian. TikTok has put out so many videos be like, well, if you don't eat coochie, and I'm just like,
It is not my preference, but there are a million and one other things that you can do
absolutely.
to get pleasure
Mhm.
out of.
Mhm.
The thing is, you may have partners that do not agree with that and therefore will not stay with
You want
Right.
to be sexually
So
compatible.
they're not for you.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Compatibility is important. So you may
Well-
find somebody who's like, I don't give a fuck about that. Cool.
I mean-
I don't want you to go down on me. I think it's gross too. Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. There are people out there like that.
That's
Yeah.
valid because also it's like you can be a lesbian and be asexual. You don't want
Absolutely.
to do anything.
Mhm.
yeah.
Like there's preferences are preferences. You just have to make sure your preferences are aligned with your partner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
For instance, for me, if you don't go down on me, goodbye.
Same.
Bye-bye. Because it's
I-
my
I've
favorite.
I've never been, it's not that I haven't been a fan of it because I've met some great eaters. But it's not high on my priority list.
It's not high on mine either. So
But
like,
I do it. I definitely,
Yeah, I will.
I will
I absolutely
definitely,
will. But if you're like,
go
no,
down.
I'm good. Like, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. If it doesn't happen to me, I'm not, I don't go like, well, why didn't you eat me out? Like, why is it?
Oh, yeah.
It's
It's not a requirement.
no, but when it happens, what a good day that is. I mean, it always
Like,
happens.
like-
I've never done it without doing that. So,
So you've always just had a good day.
I'm very, very confident that like I won't miss it, but like I've always had it. So maybe
you would.
Maybe I'll be a little bit quieter about this opinion.
It depends. It depends on who's doing it.
That's
I
true.
think.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
there have been some times where I'm like, I could go without this.
Yeah.
And then there have been some times where I'm like, I could do this literally for my entire life and be happy.
I've had it done where I'm like, you know what? We should do a puzzle.
Over
I
a
hate puzzles,
burrito.
but if it's that bad,
Yeah.
I'm just like, where
We digress.
are you upset? Like, where are we? Come up here. We have to discuss something.
Mhm.
Speaking of that, spicy trauma.
Oh, let's discuss.
Oh,
Yeah.
spicy
your
trauma.
spicy trauma. So, every episode, at the end of each one, we like to do a segment called Spicy Trauma. A little fun, a little crazy, maybe something that was just like absolutely mortifying to you in your life, or maybe mortifying to another person. Yeah, so every time we have a guest, we always ask our sweet, sweet guest to share theirs. But for those of you listening, we still want you to send yours in. Even though this is the last episode of this season, we still want you to send them so that we have them for future episodes, for extra content, all of that good stuff. So please send them. But Sky,
You've told some stories about my trauma.
do you want to know?
No.
You want people to know that?
No, you don't know this story. It's very, very short, and honestly, it was more traumatizing for the person I was with than it was with me.
Excellent.
Essentially, what had happened was
What happened?
sometimes I get very, very brave, and I think that I am capable of things that I'm not. And if I've had some libations, if I'm a little dipped, I can get a little bit cocky. So no amount of, go-getter attitude can make you take in a 10-inch cock if you're not ready for it.
That is not what I expected you to say.
You didn't get that from the setup? Let that be a lesson
We'll be
to all of
acting
you.
like he's tried it before.
But I'm saying, like, if you haven't tried it, then you don't know.
Yeah.
But like,
It's a lot. That's a lot.
so
If I had pearls to clutch, they would be clutched.
it was honestly more traumatizing for my ex than it was for me. This was with my ex.
What did you do to your
You
No,
were-
I didn't do anything.
You were taking.
Yes, I was taking.
Okay.
So we were in a long distance relationship, and they were spending like a full week with me, and we were on like day 5 of like our sexathon, which is fantastic, and I was having a great time.
Sex.
And so they would bring their dicks with them when they came and showed up, and because variety.
How many do they have?
They only brought 3.
Ugh.
They only brought 3, but
So
they
one of
were
them was
all,
10
Helen
inches.
in
In
the
the state of Texas.
yes, there weren't 6. Well, I also had some of my own, and so they was like, okay, you bring the ones that I don't have, like, and we can like we can compare. Like, I don't know. And so they were like showing me, it was so weird. It was like HGTV. They were like, okay, so we have this one and it's got like ridges in it on the first day. And I was like, okay, I like that one. Ooh, that one lights up. And so, exactly. So it was really, really exciting. And then they bring out this just fucking monster kraken of a dildo. And they're like, and then this one. And I said, I don't know what you think you're going to do with that. Are we making bread? Are we baking? Because if you're not going to use that to roll out fucking dough, I don't know what you think this is.
When you say kraken of a dildo, it was like a normal dildo or was it like a tentacle dildo?
What is the kraken before I continue?
A giant squid.
Oh, okay. No, it was just huge. It wasn't squid-like. It was the shape. It was.
I just wanted to clarify because you said like a monster kraken of a dildo, and I was like, was it a giant
that's upsetting.
tentacle?
No, that's upsetting. If I saw a tentacle on the first meetup, I'd be like, "Hey, what made you think?" I'm not saying no, but I just want to know what made you think.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So they were like, and then this one, and casually too.
Yeah.
So
like
blasé.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's aggressive and a hate crime. But we're both black, so it wasn't. So they bring it out and I'm like, ha, no. And they're like, totally fine, totally fine. We use the other ones, you know, we're having a good time. Day 5, we had like gone out on a date. And like, you know, when you're like on a really nice date and like the foreplay has been building up for hours. Mm-hmm. And I had some liquid courage and I get home and I am just ready. I'm just like, get it. And my ex was like, are you sure? They got very, very serious. They were like, are you, like, eye contact and everything. Because, you know, we were both really big on consent, as you should be. And they were like, are you sure? And like, I was like, fuck yeah. Like, baby, let's do this. So they bring it out and I'm like, yeah. It didn't even make it past the lips before I was in the fetal position shaking.
Oh my God.
Like, They
didn't use a normal one before.
No, because I said no. I was listen. I was ready. I was like, give it to me.
Okay.
Also, they were like, oh, like I've had partners that can take this really well, and I was just like, well, that seems like a you issue. Like, I don't.
Partners give birth,
right?
Right, like dilation.
I mean, like, no judgment.
Legit. It's
no
like
judgment. Like everybody's, you know, everybody's got different levels of vastness in there, and I was like, but I was like, I like my cervix. But anyway, I was like, tonight, fuck my cervix, right? And so,
literally,
I don't remember a lot of it. I was tipsy. I didn't like black out from alcohol. I think I blacked out. People handle trauma in different ways. And what I did was immediately repress it. Immediately.
Oh
so much so that I was like, I stopped crying at some point. And I was just like, okay, let's keep going. And I was like, get the other one. And my ex was just sitting on the couch, wide-eyed, like, are you fucking kidding? No. And I was like, and I had the nerve to pout like a dumbass. I was like, what do you mean no? Like, you've been getting me all hot and bothered all night. What do you mean no? And they were like, you didn't see your face when I just did that. You have no idea what you looked like. And I was just like, okay.
You're like, I'm fine. I'm obviously
and
fine.
I'm just like, the tears are dry. Like, I'm still, like, I'm naked. Like, come
tears
on.
are dry, but I am not.
Was so ready. And they were like, I'm gonna need a minute. And I'm like, you're fucking dramatic. And then we talked about it later on. And I was like, hey, that was toxic and I'm sorry. Not a good light on me. Yeah. And but you know, like, that was the year I'd come out. And so I was like really into my sexuality and to meet somebody and to be dating somebody who like embraced it and who could keep up with it.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, no, thank you. And I was like, oh, so I repulse you now?
Right.
And they were like,
you took it as a
no,
personal
I
affront.
hurt you and I need a minute because I love you. And I'm like, huh.
We're like, aw.
Weird.
So you like
Strange.
respect me and you want me to be like safe and stuff? Well, that's weird.
I'm going to need a minute. I've been dating men.
And I mean, even some of the women that I'd been dating, I mean, like, they fuck you like they like you stole from them sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's good.
Which we
sometimes
love.
that's fun.
Because sometimes you did steal from them.
Yeah, I did. I'm not
They're
going to.
hard
But you
for the
know what? That's
kleptos.
what you get for inviting me over on the first date. Like, what's your issue? You shouldn't be so trusting.
During
Just 'cause
a
I'm
really
woman?
rough time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pandemic. I was out of a job. Anyway. So it was really, really traumatic for them. And I mean,
And for you.
Yeah, I
apparently.
mean, but there was the thing
You're
is
still
we talked about it
repressing.
much later, and I was like, what? No, I said ouch, and then like I may have like shed a tear, and then like, I came to. They're like, you were in the fetal position for like 30 minutes,
sobbing.
shaking and sobbing, and I was like, no, I wasn't.
Not me.
And I was like, yeah, but I got over it. And they're like, that's not. I witnessed it, and I was just like, but I forgot it, so.
Everything's
You
fine.
didn't black out my trauma the way I did.
Exactly. I was like,
so-
why don't you handle trauma as well as I do? You don't just like forget it and wait till it comes out later in a very, very inappropriate time. You need to grow up.
Weird.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was that. Never again. Never.
Damn.
I don't even know what I was thinking. Because like,
I've taken 10 inches before.
Bless you for
but
that.
I will say.
You are 10 inches. Why would you take it?
But here's the thing. It doesn't ever go all the way in.
no, and
It
No.
doesn't. It would be up here.
Yeah.
This is oh god, I love that with men. So 'cause of course I've slept with men, so like I had this experience a lot. But they're like always over exaggerating their
Yeah.
dick size because they think that that's
They think
like,
that's what you
it's
want.
it's like
No.
3 or 4 inches. Sure, okay, great. 6 inches, doable. Anything past that doesn't actually go all the way the fuck in.
No, and it hurts.
And it hurt. It's not that fun.
they
like,
want it to hurt though. I think that's hot for them. They're like, I want you to cry.
there
And
are
I'm
some
like,
people who do like that. And
Yeah.
that's fine.
do you have anything in your basement? Like let's check your internet history.
Well,
You
there's,
want
like,
it to hurt?
There's the sadism masochism.
Sure.
connection
it
there.
has to
yeah.
be. It has to be mutual.
For sure.
It has
Yeah.
to be mutual, but
Yeah.
yeah, you're not taking anything much more than that. So
I
you
feel
get,
like
a
what-
dildo.
What men should take from this is that if your dick is 6 inches or less, it's also okay.
You're fine.
You're good.
Honestly,
You're good.
no
it's
more than
about
6
how
for
you
me.
use
Above
it
average.
from what I've heard.
But it was
Yeah.
like the circumference of this thing was like a Coke can, but like
Right.
one of those mini Coke cans.
Right.
Sure. The mini Coke
Yep.
cans.
I have that dick.
And I'm like, you felt myself enveloping your finger when you just put 2 in there, right? I don't know what makes you think that she's just gonna like spread like a flower.
Did you feel like you could fit a third in? If you didn't feel like you could fit a third in, maybe not.
Maybe not 10
Okay,
inches.
so fun fact, my ex was very short, so they had like small fingers.
So like the whole hand.
No, good God, no.
Okay.
So 3 fingers was pretty normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3
Other
fingers is good.
people no more than 2. Other
Okay.
people. But yeah, Max
So
was
you're
like,
not into being fisted. Got it.
if I could, I'm not here's the thing. I'm not against these things. My body won't let me. I don't have the fortitude. Do you understand me? I don't have the fortitude for this.
Well,
I'm a very brave soul, but like
your body has limits. Your
Sometimes
spirit
a
does
little
not.
I think I grew a hymen when they tried to put it at not even like not like just come and knock on my door, like it was that But, like not even in the foyer, like on the porch trying to ring
Trying
the
to get into the
doorbell
party.
and then the whole house fell down. Like that's how it was. I don't know what made me think. Like I was so brave.
You were confident.
I was so listen. Confidence has gotten me so far and almost tore me in half. So
You were
when I
so
say
thirsty,
take your
you were
time, I
willing to
mean
do
that too.
anything
Take
for
your
that
time with
drink of
sizes.
water.
So maybe childbirth, not.
Oh, I'm
on-
not doing it.
Not on the.
I have
roster.
childbearing hips, but I don't need to put that to a test. I just know that and have that knowledge.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
At least you know that about yourself.
I mean, I think later on in life, the more I do it, well, maybe we'll
You'll work
fit it
your way
in.
up to
Yeah,
it.
I'll work my
Yeah.
way up to it.
Yeah.
But just like right out the gate, that's a rookie
It's
mistake.
a lot. It's a lot. But alcohol makes us do things.
Oh my God,
we
yes.
feel very confident.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've said yes to a lot of things because of alcohol. And I've learned that I'm into things that I
Yeah.
usually said no to.
Yeah.
Which
I've
is
woken up with like bruises and
Yeah.
scratches everywhere from alcohol and been like, I felt nothing.
Nope. Look at that.
I was numb. I have no idea.
See,
how
and
hard
that's
you hit me.
and you repressed it. And
I
you're just like,
repressed it,
look
and
at
then I seen the next day. I'm like, ooh, that doesn't look good.
Mm-mm.
God, I love
Mm-mm.
it. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that
Right.
horrifying
God.
story.
That was one of my favorite spicy trauma stories.
ended on a
so
really
good.
great note. Literally went out with a bang.
Listen,
Not quite as we were
we're all
expecting.
smarter now, and that was my takeaway
We
from
live
that.
and we learn.
We live and we learn.
We do.
God.
Well,
Oh.
thank you for
With that,
being
thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you so
our
much for
season
having me.
finale guest. Amazing.
Yeah.
We
Thank
love
you.
talking to you.
You're always welcome.
I hope I don't like screw up your fan base by
Never. I think it'll make it better. Honestly, you should just come and sit in the corner for every episode.
Don't do that because I will have so many interjections. You'll be like,
That's
it's not
what
about
we
you.
want.
Wolf does.
That's
keep
what we
them in.
want.
They're hilarious. But yeah, thank you.
Oh, I had a blast. Thank
We
you so much for
love
having
you.
me.
We loved it.
Yeah, it
You
was
have-
like this, actually. If you could imagine like this.
That's exactly what I expected.
Don't come at me with that thing.
Like it's daunting, isn't it?
is.
Okay.
That's why her hands are literally up in the surrender position. She's like,
That was aggressive, so I'm so sorry.
Oh, shoot. Jesus.
white flag.
Just saying.
Oh my God. Wow.
Happy holidays, everyone.
We hope you enjoy your Christmas and your Thanksgiving with your families.
Get that
Listen to
turkey
us with
stuffed. Get
headphones
yourself
in.
stuffed.
Well, with that,
I'm like waiting for
Is there
her to
a
do an
sign out?
exit.
I was like,
did
am I
intro.
doing the
Come on,
exit?
Beth.
with that, thank you so much for joining us on our season finale episode of Trauma Bondage. Thank you, Sky, for being our guest.
Thank you.
We will be back next year with a whole new season for you guys. And in the meantime, we're going to be making some fun content.
Mhm.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah. So.
Episodes are just being paused for a little bit so we can work on
Oh,
content.
yeah. We're taking a break for the holidays. We're humans.
Yeah.
We have families.
We
We
have
have lives.
things.
That's what we're doing. So, you know what? Follow us. Like, subscribe. You can also subscribe to our Patreon. Helps us continue to make the depraved content that you're getting from us on a regular basis. But go for it. Have fun. Have a spicy, trauma-filled holiday.
Holiday.
End of
Holiday.
year. Holiday. And be good or don't.
We won't.
We never are.
Do you want me to sing you out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Trauma bondage. Gling.
That was beautiful.
Thank you so much.
We're going to infuse that into our theme song for next
Please
season.
don't. Please don't. So
She's
awkward.
like, I need rights and you have to pay me for.
We're like, oh shit, that's fair. All right.
Okay, I love you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our first season of Trauma Bondage Podcast. Join us next year for season 2. We're going to bring you more depraved, spicy trauma and educational content.
In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Trauma Bondage Pod. Also, if you want to continue to support queer creators like ourselves, subscribe to our Patreon.
Happy holidays!
If you liked today's episode, follow us on social media at Trauma Bondage Pod. Follow Beth at Dancing Gemini and at Bethany Nicole, and Brigitte at Your Fave Femme. If voyeurism is your kink, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Trauma Bondage Podcast, and subscribe to us on Patreon at patreon.com/traumabondagepod.
We have several tiers with bonus content, access to our private Discord server, merch, and other titillating perks. If you know, you know. Production by Wolfstar. Special thanks to Details by Annalise for set design, D. Dumpy for music, and Noelle's art for artwork.